excited to learn what the gratitude dress code really is? Who's ready to take a look at what your dress attire says about you? Awesome, great. Good evening, everyone. My name is Tracy Clemens, and on behalf of my team and I, which is my co-facilitator, Mr. Justin Gottlieb, the remainder of our team consists of Ms. Cecilia Harley, whom you met at the registration table, Ms. Kim Gilardi, and Mr. Mark Harley here. He will be on the camera. All right. So I want to welcome you all for being here tonight at the Awareness Workshop. Our intention is to bring awareness to the gratitude dress code and actually take a look at those looking good conversations surrounded on how you show up with what you have on. This training is for people who have completed Gratitude Trainings Part 1 and above. I want to check in to see who has completed the trainings in the room here tonight. Who has not completed Part 1? Okay. Who has not completed Part 2? Okay. Who has not completed Masterful Living? Okay. We're bringing this point up so that everyone in the room knows who's in the room, who has completed which trainings, so that we can ensure that confidentiality is kept, okay? So be mindful of confidentiality per the trainings that you have completed. Great? Awesome. Now, as in your life, dress codes are required on various jobs or even in different organizations that some of you may be affiliated with, correct? Did you say that? Within gratitude training, we have dress code requirements or requests for the trainings. Now, some of you may notice during your trainings, you were requested to dress a certain way. Is that true for some of you?
Yes.
Yes. And if you notice in the back of the room with the staff or the seniors, majority of them are dressed professionally. Would you say that is so? Who has not staff or senior? Okay, so there will be a time if you choose to staff or senior, there is a dress code requirement to dress professionally. Now within gratitude training, there are 5 different dress categories. How many of you were aware of that? No? Well, guess what? You're in the right place tonight to find that out. Awesome. So we'll cover that throughout the presentation, and we will distinguish between women's dress category and men's dress category. Okay? And not only does these categories are affiliated with gratitude training, also think about in your normal life, your everyday life, going to work, going to those organizations that you attend, everything. Now, for the purpose of this training, we will be recording this workshop. Is everyone open to receiving feedback on their current dress attire this evening? If you are open, stay seated. If you're not open, stand up. Awesome. All right, thank you. So, I want to acknowledge each and every one of you for taking time out of your schedules to be here on a Monday night for us to show you or give you support on how you show up in your dress in various areas of your life. So, give your hand for being here. Is it okay if I tell you a little about myself? All right. As my former career, I am a physicist, and I specialize in radioactive material. I protect the workers and the public from harmful effects of radiation. That's my former career. However, as my passion and desire, I am a master fitness trainer, and I'm also a fitness and fashion model for Orange Model Agency in Ontario, Canada. Very exciting there. I know I'm the queen of all spades, right? So basically, I educate people on being confident with themselves. loving themselves for who they are and the body shape that they're in. And I do this by doing one-on-one fitness trainings, fashion training, and what I most enjoy is consulting women and men in beauty pageants and figure and bodybuilding competitions. And the reason why I enjoy that the most is because I have competed myself. So I've consulted hundreds of competitors in beauty pageants where I choose their formal dress attire, their evening attire, even their two-piece garments for a competition, and choosing the right colors and the accessories that definitely, affiliate with their categories that they're competing in. So I have an eye skill set based on each individual's taste. So we'll take this Maggie, and whatever your individual taste is different from Gina or Ashley, right? So I have that skill set that guarantees results to where you show up powerful and polished and beautiful. How about that? All right, so is everyone still excited? Yes. All right, so here's what you'll get from this workshop tonight. You will find out and learn what the gratitude dress code really is, distinguish between the different categories, learn various tips for women and men, and you will also learn about the different accessories and shoes that's appropriate for business professionals as well. So we have a committed team here, back in the back here, that are dedicated to supporting you with your fashion needs. All right, so let's do an exercise. Who's excited about that? Yes, please stand. Now I know we have the chairs here, so mingle about and provide space there. Now without talking, for those of you who are professionally dressed, I want you to move to the right side of the room here by the door, in a group here. For those of you who are professionally dressed, right here by the door. And for those of you who are not professionally dressed, I want you to move to the left side of the room here, in a group by this back door back here. Okay. I want you to take a look at everyone in your respective groups. Take a look. Yes. With your eyes, without talking. Then I also want you to take a look at each of the groups. Yes. And lastly, take a look at yourself. And I want you to notice what's coming up for you. What are those conversations that you're having? Take a look at yourself. Take a look at those groups there. By a show of hands, does anyone now needs to switch groups? No? Okay. Does anyone see anybody else that needs to get in another group? All right. Okay. All right, now collectively, I want you guys to collectively mingle together, come together, just mingle around. And I want you to notice everything about that person with your eyes. Notice their shoes. Notice their socks, the buttons on their jacket. Notice the belt that you're wearing. What about the jewelries? And notice what's coming up for you. Notice what's coming up. Okay. All right, now we're going to do some sharing. Okay? I want you to find a partner and stand by your partner. Find a partner and stand by your partner. Raise your hand if you do not have a partner. All right? If you can look around the room and partner with someone. We can do a triad. All right? All right, so now at this moment, we're going to do some sharing. I want you guys to share your experience with this exercise that we just completed. Share what you noticed, share those conversations that were popping up in your head, and really be honest with yourself, okay? partner A. Partner A, raise your hand. Partner B, raise your hand. Okay, so each of you will have 1 minute to share. 1 minute to share. I'll let you know when to switch. Partner A, you will share for 1 minute on your experience for this exercise. Partner A, ready? Go.
I noticed that basically black shoes.
Is it more than
You just get out of work. Did you know that it was a professional dress?
Okay, we're next to the close. You have about 15 seconds. And stop. Okay, bring that to a close. Partner B, raise your hand. Okay, partner B, you will have 1 minute to share. Partner B, ready, and go. Okay, bring that to a close. You have about 15 seconds. Does anyone need more time? Triad group?
Yes.
Keep sharing. You guys can keep sharing and share.
What is your goal?
So, you know, keep to myself.
Bring that to a close. And stop. So, did you guys enjoy that? All right. So, all right, now give your partner a double high five. All right. You guys can have a seat now.
Sure.
Okay. Who's willing to share? Shara, Stan?
Shira. We used the word judging a lot in our conversations, of assessing or looking or feedback. So just something for us to point out that we were more judging ourselves rather than looking and, assessing and just taking it on as looks.
Okay. Let's not share. Who else would like to share? Maggie?
Yeah, I'll turn around. One of the things we pointed out, and it's something that I have to be aware of a lot of the times, fashion versus, business, and finding things that are not too trendy, that give the look that you're going for professionally. That it's sometimes hard to find those things at a reasonable price.
Okay, let's thank Maggie for sharing. And I think you had your hand up next.
Hi, Annette. The interesting part part about it was we had to look at others, and then when we had to look at ourselves, we talked about that, oh, well, gosh, I have to look at myself now. And that was challenging, I thought so, anyway. And then the interesting, I thought was interesting when you said, if you feel that somebody's in the wrong category, say so now. So that was my observation.
Okay. Let's give Annette a hand for sure.
Scarlett?
My experience during the exercise was judgment and frustration. I feel like I was distracted. I didn't know we had to dress up professional. And I'm a fashion designer, so it's like, it's like, oh, you know, show up like this. But then it's like, okay, let it go, it's okay. So yeah, that's it.
How many of you can relate to what Shira, Scarlett, Maggie, and Annette had to say? Did some of that resonate with you all? So I heard judgment was coming up. Judgment was coming up. You was challenged with looking at yourself. You as a fashion designer, judgment, challenging yourself. So I have to ask, where does this show up? Not only with dress, what about other areas in your life? When you're looking at yourself, when you're at work? Or what are you hearing in the trainings when the trainer said, come dress business professional? Or what are you hearing when your supervisor at work is telling you, dress professional and professional slacks? Like, what are you hearing? How many of you read the entire invitation before you came here tonight? Before you decided you want to come, okay? So I want to invite the people who did not raise their hand to take a look at where did you stop to read the invitation in its entirety? What did you miss? What stopped you? Because it happens all the time, as we always say. It's related to something else in your life as well. At work, where do you stop to read the memo that your supervisor sends out? Where do you stop to read the fine print when you sign up for, go purchase a car or your mortgage? Where do you stop to read that fine print? Because it's always that fine print at the bottom of the page that's the most important thing that's missed. And just be with these questions that I'm asking them. How many of you have received an invitation to a wedding or any other special occasion with the required dress code? Yes. And if you didn't read it, you probably showed up in a wedding dress attire. Guess what? When you get there, everybody's dressed in black and red, and you showed up in blue and green. Where did you stop? Judgment. We are constantly being assessed every day by people. Whether it's what you have on, what are you saying out of your mouth, what are you eating, what are you driving. We are assessed every day. So the question is, where's your level of comfort with that? Are you comfortable? Are you confident in who you are? That is the question. Yes.
Can I just make a notation? I don't want to jump in. I said to my partner, when we had to do self-judge, look at ourselves and then
Yes.
decide if we need to be to the other side. I almost went to the other side, and I told myself because I haven't had a chance to do my hands. I'm down for a pedicure over the past week, so just sort of getting to be a mess. So his response was either you set yourself to a high standard or you beat yourself up.
So Annette, how often do you do that?
I guess too often.
It's not only with dress and your nails. I invite you to look at other areas as well. Because we are constantly being assessed, and we assess and judge ourselves on a daily basis, right? Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, there are 5 different categories, dress categories in gratitude. I want to go through those briefly so you guys can get a clear understanding or clarity on the dress codes for gratitude training. Now, this presentation is for women. Men, I'm going to invite you to be attentive to this presentation because I know you have wives or girlfriends that with this information, you could possibly support them. Are you open to being attentive to the women's presentation then? Thank you, thank you. All right, so can someone share with me in the group, what is your version of business professional dress? Anyone like to share?
Suit, full-on suit.
Full suit?
Tie, yeah. Dress shirt, tie, slacks, sports coat, dress
Okay.
shoes.
All right, let's give that your hand for sharing. Anyone else? Cameron?
Dark colors, preferably dark, black, navy blue, gray, charcoal.
Okay, all right, let's give Herman a hand. Ladies, anyone would like to share? Ashley?
I would say slacks or skirts below the knee, and like a blazer over a button.
Okay, let's give Ashley another share. Okay, let's take a look at what it looks like. So the first category I want to cover is business professional dress. The standard business professional dress for women in gratitude training. Business suits, which consist of a pantsuit or a skirt suit, and preferably that it matches one solid color. Okay, you want to make sure the jacket and the pants or the skirt matches. You can have on a blouse or a button-down dress shirt. And women, you can also wear business dresses as well. And I'll show you an image of what that looks like shortly. Now, as a rule of thumb, ladies, for your dresses and your skirts, you want to make sure that they're not above 2 inches above your knee. So you can use your index, the tip of your index finger, to actually measure that. Okay, so 2 inches above the knee. As you can see, the lady here on the right with her skirt on, she's right at knee level there. Okay? Business professional shoes, closed-toe pumps, and in gratitude training, it is okay for women to wear open-toe pumps. All right, and we'll cover more about the shoes later on in the slideshow here. Then, of course, with your pantsuit or your skirt suit, may require a belt. You want to make sure that you have on a dress belt, not a casual belt, not a big cowgirl belt with a big buckle, a dress sleeve business belt. Okay? Pantyhose and knee highs are optional. And then you have a question?
Question about the dress belt. Is it typically like, not bigger than 2 inches? Is there a standard to be calling it a dress belt?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
Whatever, the width of your pant, the
Okay.
belt loops on your pants or skirt is okay.
And
Actually,
is the belt optional, or does there have to be?
it's optional, because some pants don't come with belt loops. Like the pants I have on have no belt loops, okay? All right, so some other images of business professional dress, and this is an image of a business professional dress, ladies. Okay, so you can wear that, and you can wear it without the jacket, okay? And for the women that identify with alternative dress, this is an example of what alternative dress would look like for a lady. Okay, these are just some examples here. The next category is sharp business professional dress. Now, you will hear this term when you staff or senior, okay? Now, the difference between business professional dress and sharp business professional dress, ladies, you're taking it up a notch. Take it up a notch by adding accessories like a long pearl necklace or a long necklace, or even a scarf around the neck as I'm wearing here. There are some women's shirts that have cufflinks, so if you want to step it up, even with the material, you can have on a silk blouse, something of that nature. Even changing up the material of your clothing will step it up to sharp business professional dress. So again, you're wearing a business suit, pants, jacket, skirt, jacket, add a little color to that as well, and you can do some patterns. If you want to do pinstripes, maybe a polka dot here or there, but we don't wanna get wild with the patterns, okay? So no big floral prints as a pantsuit, okay? And of course, polished leather shoes, ladies. I cannot emphasize enough. Shoes are everything. Make sure your shoes are nice and clean and polished. Make sure they don't have any grass in the heels, or the heels are deteriorating, or the stitches coming out of the shoe. So be very, very mindful when you get dressed with your shoes and your entire ensemble. All right? Dress belt, if you need it. And of course, pantyhose or knee highs are optional. All right. Now, before we go on to the third dress category, I want to talk about the shoes. That is a hot topic in the community. Let's talk about the professional shoes here. Oh, one more example of images for sharp business professional dress. So again, women that identify with alternative dress, this is an example of sharp business professional. And for ladies that are larger in size, here's an example of sharp business professional dress. Okay? Business professional shoes, ladies. Pumps, open toe, closed toe. Here's examples of some business professional shoes. And for the women that do not wear heels or have problems with their feet, there are business professional flat shoes, okay? And then we have the new colors. So when you're choosing your shoes, you want to make sure they're like solid colors, your black, your navy blue, nude, and you want to make sure you don't have on 5-inch heels, okay? So up to 4 inches for your pumps, and again, they can be open toe or closed toe, so be mindful about the closed toe, okay? You want to make sure it's not too wide where all 5 of your toes are showing, okay? All right, so now let's take a look at what's not business professional shoes. Stiletto platform heels. This is very common in the community here. Floral prints, metallic diamond bling bling heels, 5 to 6 inches, no. Stiletto boots that come up to your knees, ladies, no. Sandals, lugs that keep your feet warm, no. Boots that come tie up to your knees, not business professional, okay? So are we clear on that? Yeah, and be mindful what you're picking out when you pick out your shoes for a business professional. All right, so moving on to the third category. Who wants to share what business casual looks like? What does that look like for you? Annette, stand please.
Like maybe an Oxford shirt, loose, and some slacks that won't fall off the bottom.
Okay. Thanks for sharing, Annette. Anyone else like to share what your version is? Okay, let's move on. Business casual dress, the standard for business casual dress, ladies, dress pants, blouse, shirt, or you can do a skirt, a shirt and a blouse. And you can also do a business dress. A jacket is not needed, okay? It's not required. So if you want to wear one, you can. If not, you don't have to, okay? And again, you want to have some nice dress shoes as we just covered. Casual belt, again, you don't want a big rodeo belt with a big buckle, okay? Pantyhose, knee highs, or casual socks are optional. And here are some other images of business casual dress. Okay? And notice the skirt length, index finger or thumb, not 2 inches above the knee there. All right, next category, our fourth one, sharp business casual dress. Again, it's a step up from business casual. So again, you're changing up your materials of your clothes, adding accessories, even with the type of shoes, you can add a little color with your shoes there. Dress pants, skirt. skirt with a blouse or a button-down shirt. Dresses, again, you just add accessories. Make sure you have on your dress shoes there. Pantyhose and knee highs are optional in this category as well. All right, so who has not heard of celebratory dress? All right, great. So have you heard any trainings about celebratory dress? Can someone share what their version of celebratory dress is? Dawn?
Hi, I'm Dawn. Anything that you're celebrating, it would be after 5 if it was a cocktail hour, or it would be something to, not such a conservative look, but more of a fun conservative look. Depending on day, evening events, that's what I would think.
All right, thanks for sharing. All right, let's have a look. Celebratory dress is at the trainer's discretion, okay? Now, when you are requested to wear celebratory dress, that particular trainer will identify or explain what celebratory dress looks like, because each of them are different, okay? So when you think of celebratory dress, and thank you, Dawn, for sharing that again, think about attending a wedding or a New Year's Eve party or something of that nature, or whatever you feel extraordinary beautiful in. How about that? Yes. And be yourself and be respectful of the trainers as well. So let's look at some examples of what it might look like. The infamous Oprah Winfrey. Alternative dress for ladies. And hey, you may want to show up as a queen. Yeah. All right. So does anyone have any questions about the information we just received? Any questions? How about some tips, ladies? Because we promised you some tips. Let's take a look. Undergarments. You're going to get a little personal here, ladies. Lines, your undergarments, your underwear, your bra. Ladies, be very mindful of that. Choosing the correct underwear with the appropriate color. All right? So if you have on white pants, you may want to choose a bone color underwear or black so it doesn't show. All right? Now, if your bra line is showing, you have on a transparent blouse, you may want to consider putting on a camisole. And if you're wearing fitted pants or a fitted skirt, you may want to consider wearing the seamless panties or a thong. Okay? So you want to be mindful of those lines that are showing in the back in the correct color for your outer garments there. Okay, we just covered that. Clean and polished shoes, I can't emphasize enough. Check your shoes out before you leave the house, all right? Make sure they're nice and clean. And in any event, if you're not sure about what shoes to wear with what outfit, you cannot go wrong with a nude pair of shoes. They go with everything. And another tip about nude shoes, they give you the appearance of a longer leg. So I'm short, so I want to appear tall as possible, right? Okay. Ladies, another hot topic in the community, keep the cleavage at a minimum. Cover up. Put a camisole top on. Button up your shirt. You're sitting in the audience and the trainer's standing up here. You don't want the trainer looking down, looking at your chest line. Or if you got on a dress that's shorter than two inches above your knee, you don't want the trainer to look down and see more than what he needs to, right? So be mindful of that. Tight fitting, low necklines, short shirts that expose your waist, your belly button. You don't want everybody to see your belly button or your waistline. Cover up, okay? And again, a rule of thumb, use your index finger to measure the length of your dress skirt. Ladies, just like the men, they get their suits tailored. We get our suits tailored as well. For example, my suit, my mother's a seamstress, so I get my work done for free. So she tailored my suit so that it can fit. So once your suit is nice and tailored, you look polished, right? And make sure your pants are not dragging on the floor. They shouldn't come even along the top of the shoe there, okay? And some other helpful items to have, baby wipes. Baby wipes will take the stains out of anything, okay? A lint roller or duct tape, or you can use some of the masking tape that we use in the training. Just put it on the opposite side here, and you can use this to take the lint off your clothes, okay? Sewing kit, safety pins. How many of you guys have seen someone lose a button, split their pants or their skirt line? Have some of these things handy to support yourself and others. Ladies, an extra pair of neutral pantyhose. You never know when your pantyhose are going to rip if you're wearing it. And one more tip for pantyhose, you gotta have a clear nail polish. Clear nail polish stops the runs in your pantyhose. How many of you know that? I like it. All right, how about those tips? Was that helpful for you all?
Yeah.
All right. So, that completes the presentation for the women's dress category. Does anyone have any questions? Can anyone tell me what the 5 dress categories are for gratitude training? Anyone? Don?
Casual, business, business professional, celebratory, sharp business attire,
Sharp business professional
sharp
and
business professional, and
sharp.
sharp business.
All right, let's get it done. All right.
Tracy, I have a question.
Yes.
If you're wearing a dress and the dress doesn't have sleeves, is it appropriate or inappropriate to wear a jacket or a sweater to cover your arms?
Great question, Cecilia. Cecilia's question was, if the lady's dress is sleeveless, is it appropriate to wear it with or without a jacket? Great question. Cecilia, with that, women must wear a jacket if it's sleeveless. So thank you for bringing that question up. Did I answer your question?
Yes, you do.
All right, let's give Cecilia a hand. Any other questions I can clarify for anyone? All right, well, that completes the women's dress category. And at this time, we're going to take a break. Kim, what time do we have?
We have 7:46.
7:46, all right. How many of you guys are thirsty? All right, we will take a 5-minute break. Go outside, get some air, and come back in. We'll see you then. 5 minutes. Thank you. Very much.
Raise your hand if you're excited to find out what dressing sharp really means. And how many of you want to look and feel your best at any occasion? All right, well, thank you. Thank you for being here. I'm Justin Gottlieb, and I'm going to be the trainer for the second part of the awareness workshop. I want to acknowledge you all for being here. You are taking the next step in transformation, a unique way of transforming, which is your fashion, your look, and your conversations around your dress. You're also being in service. You're being in service to yourself, to the trainings, the students, current students and future students, as well as your seniors and staff. It's important to really take in this information and understand what the dress codes are and the conversations around it, because it does show up in the trainings. Is it all right if I tell you a little bit about myself? All right, thank you. I grew up in New York and New Jersey. I was probably the worst dressed human being you'd ever see growing up. My family had the worst fashion sense. There was no fashion forward thinking at all. So I grew up kind of getting made fun of because I would just dress however my musical taste would take me. So I was into heavy metal for a while, and I was, chain wallet, ripped jeans, Metallica t-shirt. I started listening to hip hop. I had my sag jeans and an oversized shirt. Finally, I went into my fish phase where I started following fish around the country, and I was a straight up hippie. So I never actually really said, like, what do I want to dress like? What looks good on me? What do I feel comfortable in? It wasn't until I graduated college and moved to Manhattan, the fashion capital of definitely the US, and some might say the world. And that's where I really learned about tailored clothes and wearing what fits you right, what colors work for you. I worked in finance, and I was a wealth manager. So I was handling people's money. So sharp business professional dress was an everyday requirement in my career. And believe me, it matters what you're wearing when you're talking to people about investing in for their nest egg, for their retirement, and really for their livelihood. So if you ever think what you're wearing doesn't really matter and people should really just like look at me for who I am and that's all that it is, we just showed you guys that we're all always evaluating, whether we're evaluating ourselves or others, and we do make up stories about what people are wearing. I really took to fashion, and I started an online dating and social consulting company where I advised men on their dating lives, health and fitness, and of course fashion. Who wants to show up to a first date without the proper attire? So I was always having kind of this looking good conversation, and I'm really excited to take it down here. I moved to Miami a year and a half ago. I'm currently an online advertising salesman, and I travel around the country. I'm still meeting with clients on a regular basis, talking about different things this time. But now my dress is generally sharp business casual. In the advertising industry, it's a little more lax, so I can actually show up in jeans and a jacket and a nice dress shirt. So thank you again for all being here. I'm going to be telling you a little more about men's dress. We're going to have some more conversations around what shows up for us when we talk about dress and what we have on and when we're evaluated. And I'm going to give you some awesome tips and tricks. So, without further ado, let's talk about men's dress. So business professional dress, and this is within the gratitude trainings. For men, it needs to be a full suit. So this is not where you get out your sports jacket and wear your miscolored pants, wear your khakis. Business professional dress is the full suit. It's okay to be a little colorful with patterns. What I'm wearing right now is business professional dress. It's not sharp business professional dress. So I got a little accent here, I got a little purple, I got pink. I might not wear this to a C-level interview, but for business professional dress, this works. With your shoes, you'll see this gentleman's wearing suede shoes, a little more casual, but still works with the suit. That's okay for business professional dress. And as far as ties, I know nowadays there's lots of different kinds of ties. This is a traditional silk tie. I know Thatcher loves to wear his knit tie. So there's lots of different ties that you can wear. For business professional dress, any tie will really work. And again, vivid colors and a little more flash in the tie is okay here. With any suit, you're going to wear a dress belt. Dress belt's going to be those thinner belts, not the kind of thicker casual ones, certainly nothing with a massive belt buckle or anything like that. And dress socks with your dress suit shoes. So no athletic socks, even if they're black athletic socks, really go out and get those thinner pairs of dress socks. It's more comfortable, lets your feet breathe, and it really looks a lot better when you pull up your pant leg or you're sitting down. Anyone looking at this picture, can you tell me what you think any distinctions are between business professional dress and sharp business professional dress? Thatcher?
The difference that I see mainly is the colors. These are more muted tones, more neutral tones, whereas the other ones have a bit more pop and flash.
Right, thank you, Thatcher. Give Thatcher a round of applause. Really, really good point. Herman, you want to jump in?
Yeah, the difference is the fabrics, the material is loud and very clean. You also have the option of 3 pieces, which is the best, the jacket and
Excellent. And you've been around the trainings quite a bit, so you've seen people dressing sharp. And when you see that in the trainings or even in your life, what do you think?
When I see someone come up that way, I say it's up to something big, or they bring their confidence out and they know what their presence are very sharp.
Exactly, exactly. So thank you, Herman. And that's exactly it. This is a notch above. It does. You show up like you're up to something big. It's about the materials. It's about the colors here. So, I mean, this suit may not look that different from the business professional dress, but you see it's got a little shine. It's got kind of a more Italian design with the thinness of the suit as well. And obviously the gentleman with the 3-piece suit, like how sharp does that look? That looks like he's going to be, going to a secret agent meeting or going to the White House, something really, really important. That's what we're trying to convey with sharp business dress. So, full suit, more conservative colors. This is not where you're trying to, use your craziest colors or anything that's really trying to draw attention from yourself. Because the message for this is you. You're the message. again, think like you're a Wall Street guy or someone that's going on a C-level interview, or maybe you're going to the White House. Certainly you could put in a pocket square. I might not use one that's like this, colorful and wild, but a little pocket square with an accent that matches your tie and your shirt. For sharp, always polished dress shoes, leather shoes, none of the other more casual shoes. Really important, and I'll talk a little bit more about shoes later. More conservative silk tie. Single color, maybe a light pattern on it. Like that guy's got a pattern, but it's not really distracting and taking anything away from the outfit. Dress belt I mentioned before, and again, dress socks. Business casual dress. I am not sure what this gentleman's doing, but he is absolutely exemplifying a really great business casual dress outfit. And don't forget, we're going to have a distinction between sharp business casual dress and business casual. So here, they've got some nice colors going on, there's some good patterns, and you can see even his socks are matching his shirt. The requirements for this, for the gratitude training for men, you either have a collared shirt, tie, slacks and dress pants, or nice khakis, like he's exemplifying here, or you're going to go with the collared shirt, the sports coat, slacks, dress style pants, or khakis. So those are the two options for guys. Don't try and come in and make up something new. This is what the trainers really are very adamant about. This is what business casual dress is. Of course, shoes, again, you wear a more casual belt, and someone asked earlier about the thickness of a belt. I consider for men, those thicker belts are more casual, and the thinner ones are more for the dress suits. And again, dress socks. If you want to get a little crazier in business casual. And now when you apply this to your life, gentlemen, or any of the ladies who have men in your life, these are tips and things that really you can share and provide a lot of value to them. You want to ensure that you really know what business casual is, because I've been to plenty of places where business casual was jeans and a polo shirt, right? For the gratitude trainings, do not show up in a short sleeve polo shirt and throw a jacket on it. The trainers hate that, okay? So really look at this as an example of it. Now, do you all see a distinction here between what these men are wearing and the other guys? Okay? Conservative, it's almost as if he put this color jacket on, he'd almost be a sharp business professional. Okay? So again, collared dress shirt, tie, slacks and dress pants, or collared dress shirt, sports coat, slacks, and dress pants. So here you don't see khakis. I would go with the kind of light wool dress pants when you're stepping it up a notch to sharp business casual. This gentleman's pretty much wearing a suit with no tie. Again, sharp business casual, nice dress shoes, none of the more casual shoes, and again, it just looks sharper. It looks like you're up to something rather than playing a little more playful with the business casual. Celebratory dress, our favorite. So, you may notice someone in the room here. At the discretion of each trainer. So everybody please, again, listen to what the trainer says. We've heard very different stories from different trainers. So sometimes they want you to show up in some traditional garb that's a celebration for your history. Okay, people actually have done that. And I've heard some people encourage it as far as trainers, and some trainers actually are like, no, it's a different definition for them. So be very careful of that, and ensure that you're listening when the trainers are telling you what type of celebratory dress you should show up in. As we mentioned before, think wedding or New Year's Eve. Look sexy, confident, handsome, like really just like you feel like $1 million. Be yourself, and again, be respectful to the trainings. Any questions on celebratory dress, gentlemen?
I'd like to add something.
Please, Thatcher.
It's funny, I mean, that's a part of a wedding that I was in. I was a groomsman, so we had to go to Men's Warehouse, which I'm not a fan of, because I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to that kind of stuff. And it just demonstrates the value of a tailor, because the pants that and knowing yourself and standing in what you believe in, because what they wanted to put me in at Men's Warehouse, and were okay with putting me in. I mean, all the other groomsmen were fine with it, but I said, no, I'm bringing these back and we're going to have them tailored. Like the pants, I want these pants to fit me. And there's a noticeable difference between me and the groomsmen. So yeah, it just shows the importance to me of like knowing what you want, not being afraid to ask, make requests, and getting your tailor and having your clothes fit.
Excellent. And fashion, before you sit down, what comes up for you when you see someone in, maybe it's a nice suit, but it's just fitting them terribly?
What comes up, you wanna be honest?
I want you to be honest, always.
I get annoyed, but that's me. I mean, I'm not annoyed, I don't judge them, I obviously don't think they're a bad human being, but, I mean, yeah, I think a man should put on a suit that fits him.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Baxter. Appreciate it. So now it's great to know the dress codes, but it's really great to have some amazing fashion tips you can take home and use in your life, and you can also, of course, use in the trainings. So I put together 10 tips that I've picked up along the way in my life and my journey in many different careers. Some are a little basic, and then some are like really kind of things that I've heard a lot of people don't know, so I'm excited to share them with you. So perfect transition from what Thatcher was mentioning. Off the rack versus off the rack, tailored versus custom. I learned this in New York City because it's a big thing to be in at Wells Fargo and have a custom tailor come in and do your fitting in your office. That's like what they do. It's like a big thing there. But I didn't even know growing up that that was a thing. I just thought I'd buy that off the rack, and I'm a medium, and that's what fits me, and I got a medium. It's the right size. Well, guess what? I'm absolutely an extra slim fit shirt guy. So when I buy a medium, I'm swimming in it. Okay, so when you're buying off the rack, there's certain brands that you can buy that you know will fit. Kenneth Cole and Hugo Boss happen to make really good slim fit shirts, so does John Barbados. So when you start to look at the brands and feel like what's good on you, that's really, really important. It can save you a lot of money because you may not have to get the tailoring that we're going to talk about next. If you are buying off the rack and maybe you don't have a regular size that fits any of the brands you've tried, you've got to get a tailor. You've got to get tailoring so that it fits you right, whether it's the shirt, the suit, the pants, etc. Of course, it's going to cost a bit more money, but there's some great custom tailors where they will literally measure you from head to toe, and you'll get to pick specifications. This is a custom suit, and I was able to pick, on my shirt, I was able to pick the type of cuff that I want, the type of collar. I mean, there's like 8 different variations of collars, and you start to learn about what really works with you. So really important, something that a lot of people just overlook, and they think if I buy this suit, it should be fit, I'll just get the pants hemmed, and we're good to go. I kind of mentioned this a little bit, but there are all these different sizes, even just for shirts. If you're a big and tall guy, go to one of the big and tall stores. They've got plenty of stuff for you. And the different shirt sizes, classic, regular, trim, or slim fit, and they even have extra trim now. It's really become a big thing in the men's dress to offer as a brand a lot of different sizes. Little example here, that was then, this is now. This reminds me of like my dad's days in the 80s where like no one cared about tailoring. It was like, all right, I'm gonna just get my suit and I'm gonna be like walking around frumpy and swimming in it. And nowadays, it's all about the fit. Slim is in. So with that, it's also a lot of fashion gurus will tell you thin is in. Thinner lapels, thinner ties. This tie is probably a regular size tie as far as anything goes. They get really thin nowadays, and there's a reason for that as well. And again, tighter fitting pants. There's been a lot of conversations around how tight your pants fit in the trainings and things like that. You don't want them so tight that when you're sitting down, you're suffocating yourself or it's painful. But you do want it a little tighter than you typically imagine. I remember when I went from my typical kind of baggier suit pants where I didn't really get into my custom pants. It was a big transition. Sleeves of the suit. This is really important, and it's a very easy fix. The sleeves of your suit should reach the hinge of your wrist, okay? And then your shirt should come out about a ½ inch or a ¼ inch below that. I can't tell you how many times I see guys where their shirts are gone, and that immediately takes away from your entire outfit. I don't care how perfect it is. Your sleeve should not be rolling over your hand. It also shouldn't be up here, all right? And it's really great. It's just an awesome accent for your outfit if your shirt is coming through here, no matter what color it is. It just gives it a little extra pizzazz. Can everyone see that? Yes. Awesome. Tie length. When a man is standing up straight, his tie should come down to the top of his belt. Pants should be just about under the belly button. It can go between the top of the belt and the middle of the belt. If your tie's going down below your belt, it's too long, and if it's up here, obviously it is too short. So I've had times where I've retied my knot 2 or 3 times just to get it exactly right. If your tie, this is a great tip, and it's just simple, but it's really always stuck with me. If if your tie has stripes or patterns in it, don't wear a striped and patterned shirt. It gets really mixy-matchy. It just kind of distracts everything, and sometimes it's almost disorienting. So if you're gonna wear a patterned tie or something with stripes, wear that with a solid color shirt, and vice versa. Solid color tie, if I wanted to, I could wear maybe a striped shirt or something with boxes on it, because that would be a nice accent to the shirt. But again, it's not necessary, but don't take away from your outfit by putting too much together with your shirt and your tie. Simple rule, belt color should match your shoe color. Black shoes, black belt, brown shoes, brown belt. Where this gets interesting is where you get a nice pair of tan shoes and you're like, I don't have a tan belt, I'm just gonna wear my dark brown belt with it. I'd recommend going out and getting a tan belt. You can find them for 20 or 30 bucks at Macy's or any of these other places. It doesn't have to be a super expensive belt, but when it matches your shoes, people notice. Lose the logos. As much as possible, don't buy any outfits that have massive logos or anything like that, especially in the trainings. It's just distracting. I mean, if I'm a student and I see a staff member with like a big Ralph Lauren logo on something, like, it's gonna take away from something. So, especially in the trainings, and I generally, in my life, like, it's great to buy a really nice brand, but it's even better when it doesn't say it, like, all over it. Invest in your shoes. This might be my #1 tip. I've spent more money on shoes than any other part of my outfit, and the reason is, they last, they're comfortable, and they look really good, okay? So I know people are like, oh my God, how could someone pay $200, $300 on a pair of shoes, or even more? How could they do that? Well, there's a reason. When you put those on and they last 5, 6, 7, maybe 10 years, you know about it, because you can spend $100 or $200 on a pair of shoes and they just are out in a year. Anyone ever see these things? Okay. These are called collar stays. These to me are vital. This is like the glue that puts your outfit together. Collar stays go under your collar. Any men's shirt is going to have a slot for them. And it simply keeps your collar fresh, crisp, and nice. Anytime you see a guy that's got his collar rolling under, or maybe it's flipping up, tell him, hey, do you have any collar stays? And if he doesn't, a great trick I found on the road is, there's paper clips that are about this exact width, and about this exact height, not the tiny ones, the kind of medium-sized paper clips. I've gone down to a hotel lobby when I'm late for a meeting, got 2 paper clips, stuck them in there, fresh collar. Awesome. And because you guys have been so great, I have a bonus tip for you, and this is, I see this showing up in the trainings all the time.
Yes.
The brakes, the brakes. So, a lot of people are always wondering, like, how long should my pants be, how should it look? This is the general array of brakes that you can have. A full brake, you can see there's like an actual crease in it, and it almost comes over a bit. There's also the quarter brake, a half brake, the no brake. No brake, I don't love it. You know, if you're sitting down, your pants are going to come up really high. I recommend a half brake. These are about a half brake. So, I think it fits for all situations, but the problem is when we have the double overtime super full brake, and you see guys that are just rolling over and over and over again. It's really simple. It's probably the cheapest hem you can get. It's just getting the bottom of your pants fit properly. And then also sometimes it's just where are you wearing your pants on your waist. Awesome. So, we just went over a lot of amazing tips for men. You just heard some amazing tips for women. You learned about the different dress codes. We want to make sure you get to share about it, to really take it all in. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to turn to someone next to you, and if someone was late, feel free to fill them in on anything they missed, and share for 5 minutes about what you learned, what you're taking away, and what you can take from this and bring into your life immediately. All right? So, if anyone doesn't have a partner, feel free to make a triad. Raise your hand if you don't. And we'll give you 5 minutes. Begin. impactful for them so far, what they were sharing about with their partner. So would anyone like to share? Lee?
Real quick, this, was talking the collar stays, we thought that they were, like, just to show off the shirt in the package. So when we pull all the pins, we used to just pull those out and throw them away. So I obviously didn't know, over 20 years, I just throw it
20
away.
years. There you
But
go.
this shirt actually has it in there, and I don't even realize it, but it's in there.
Yeah, well, thank you for sharing. Thank you. And another thing to note with that is, if you are getting your shirts dry cleaned, take them out. Because sometimes they'll iron your collar and it'll make like this weird kind of mark in there that you can never ever get rid of. So something else to keep in mind. But definitely don't throw them out. Although they're not expensive, they're a very important part of that shirt you just bought. Anyone else like to share? Anything important that came up, something they want to apply maybe right now or in their lives from their, yeah, anybody?
I have a question,
Maggie?
thank you for, Tracy, for women, I know at one of the times, the length of our pants, like the capri length and everything is definitely out forever and ever, like, even when they're a dress material, like a dress, like the type of material is dressy, it's not like a cotton, but it's like a wool blend or something?
Okay, so Maggie, I wanted to make sure I have your question right. You were asking a question about capri pants?
Yes, like that, and having those at any time during the trainings for women.
No, capri pants are not business professional, and they're also not considered business casual as well.
Okay.
So in any event with business professional, sharp, business casual, you want to make sure that you have on full length pants. Okay?
Okay, thanks.
All right, did that answer your question?
Yes, you did.
All right, let's give Maggie a hand.
So now I want to ask, has anyone ever asked someone an opinion about their physical appearance or their outfit and gotten a response that wasn't exactly what they were hoping for? Okay. Any of the gentlemen? Never. Interesting. Something to look at. Well, maybe that's it. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just gentlemen don't ask often. I actually did ask recently. I was getting ready, going out at night. I got a shirt that I like, fresh pair of jeans on, and I'm at my apartment and I asked my girlfriend, do you think I should wear this outfit? And she said, no, I'd wear a different one. So now, what might I have been thinking about myself when I got that response?
Yeah, doing something wrong, like you did something wrong.
Okay. I'm wrong.
Don't look good.
I don't look good.
I don't look good.
I have bad style.
She's wrong.
Bad style.
I like that answer.
She's wrong. Anything else?
I know fashion.
I know fashion? Maybe. Anything else? That I might make up? What might I make up about the world?
You're not ready for me. You're not fashion forward like I am.
They aren't fashion forward. So, this is what I'm thinking. How might I act?
Irritated?
Irritated?
Frustrated, or rude.
Defensive?
Irritated, frustrated, defensive. What else?
Disappointed?
Disappointed. What was it?
Puzzle.
Puzzled.
Resentful.
Resentful. Perfect.
Egotistical.
Egotistical.
Ashamed.
There you go. Ashamed. Okay. Now, do you think if I'm acting in this way, there might be some kind of payoff?
Feel superior.
So I get to feel superior. I get to
Feel better than.
better than. Okay.
Get attention. Be right.
get attention, be right. That's a good one we love here, right?
Then I have to ask her.
Control, okay. We get one more? I'm acting defensive, frustrated, irritated.
Victim.
Victim, I get to be the victim.
Woe is Justin.
So, what actually happened?
Someone's in words.
Okay, and in this exact instant, what did my girlfriend say to me?
No, you
Yeah.
shouldn't wear it.
Wear something else.
Your outfit.
She didn't like
No, you shouldn't wear
Right, so, girlfriend said
it. You should choose something else.
to wear something else. Did this happen?
Yes.
Yeah. No.
Did this happen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Fact.
Yes, this happened. What'd you say?
It's a fact.
It's a fact. So we can call this the fact. This actually happened. Now, did this happen?
No.
No.
In your own mind.
Okay, happened in my own mind, but it didn't actually happen. So what might we call this?
Story.
What I made up.
Yeah, what I mean.
I heard it all over the place. This is our story and someone else, interpretation. Did this happen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did this happen?
No.
So how can we shift our conversation around feedback on our clothes, on our dress, or anything about our physical appearance? When all that happened was she said to wear something different. Can someone give me an example of a different story that could have happened here that may have resulted in something completely different?
Maybe she knew Dawn.
Dawn,
Maybe she
yeah.
knew the event,
Say that again?
maybe she knew the event that you were going to and the person or you were dressed not appropriate for that particular event.
Great, so maybe my story could have been, wait, she's up to something. My girlfriend probably knows what this event's about, I didn't even check the invitation. So maybe I could actually make up the story that my girlfriend knows what she's talking about here, instead of me getting angry or frustrated or any of these things because I made up a different story. Now I made up the story, I'm gonna hold my girlfriend high, she's giving me great advice here, I get to go wear another outfit. Or I could also make up a story and just say, that's great that she says to wear something else, but I'm really comfortable, I think this outfit's perfect, and I'm gonna go ahead and wear this outfit anyway. So again, it's us collapsing the fact and the story that often gets us really frustrated or angry or going down a path that doesn't necessarily serve us. So when you're either evaluating or being evaluated, be sure to separate the fact from the story. Because it's when we can shift our perspectives that we can shift our experience and we can shift our lives. Thank you. So I don't know if you guys are burning up in here or do you wanna, if you all wanna stay, I'm happy to go on in the dark and on this. Everyone good?
Yeah.
For a few more minutes? All right, we'll see what we can come up with next. We wanted to bring someone else out to talk about something that we didn't really touch on too much, which would be color theory, materials. She is an expert in these things. And we're gonna have Kim Gilardi come on up and share some of her fashion tips that come from color and materials. Thanks so much, Kim.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kim, and thank you for staying in these unique situations with me together. So that's exactly it. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about knowing our color and materials for seasons and what works best with us. So there's a couple tricks we can know. A lot of times we hear cool, warm, or neutral skin tones, and we don't know how to find out. And then that'll tell us, once we do find out, once we do determine that, that'll let us know what colors will enhance our skin tone, our hair, and everything, so that when we are staffing or in front of a crowd, it'll be enhanced and look great and pop. So a couple ways to determine your skin tone are, so the 3 skin tones are warm, cool, and neutral. One way we could do it, which when you get home and you have light, you can try it. You look at your veins. So you'll turn your hand over, you'll look at your veins. If they have a more blue tone or purple tone, that means you're cool. If you can kind of see a little bit of a greenish, that will be your warm. And if you can't really tell, and nobody else can really tell, it'll probably mean you're neutral. Since that happens often, there's other ways. So another way you can tell is you might take a white piece of paper in the sun or near a window. You can put it under your skin and see what's reflecting on the paper. So if you have like a yellowish tone on your paper, you'll be warm. If you can see like a gray or blue or red, you'll be cool. And again, if you kind of can't tell, it'll be your neutral. Okay, and then another way you can tell is with your metal or even tin foil. So if you take a silver piece of tin foil in the sun and you reflect it up to yourself, if you look great, it's silver and you look great, you're cool. If it's gold, if you take something gold and you put it up to your skin tone and it looks great, you're warm. And if you could do both, if both of them look great, that's great. And if they both look great, that means you're neutral. So when you are neutral, you could pull from any color. You could do your blues, you could do your greens, your browns, your chocolates, your grays. You can go either way. When you're cool, you want to stick with your baby blues, your magentas, your grays, your pink, color like that. And when you're warm, you want to do your chocolates, your greens, your orange, yellow. Does that make sense? Does anyone know their skin tone? And, or if you do know it, or just start to notice now, so that would be my invitation to you, would be start to notice, wow, I can see where this suit or this color might look better on me, or this makeup even for the ladies, and to start pulling in colors. And then it is also nice to have something that is a color that you wouldn't normally wear. It could still accentuate your, and enhance your skin tone, but it might be a little edgy or risky that you wouldn't normally do it, and that'll kind of keep you on your toes and up to fashion. So that's a little tip as well. So that's with skin tone. With fabric, I like to do seasonal fabric, which is very important. Even in Florida, when we don't feel the season so much, it says a lot about ourselves. So you can see it's in July, and I'm at a training, and I'm wearing a full corduroy suit that's chocolate brown or satin or brocade or something. It might just look out of place. Or if I'm wearing a white or lace gingham or something in the middle of a rainy season, that might not blend so well. So you really want to do seasonal fabrics as well. Some of the fabric for spring and summer would be linen, cotton, gingham, any checks, any floral prints, sheer fabrics that might move around a bit. And then for winter and fall, you want to go ahead and have your corduroy, your leather you might do some suede, some velvet, velour, and fabric like that. How's that sound?
Awesome.
Okay, awesome. Thank you guys, that's what I have for you today. And then one tip also I wanted to say, which I don't know if we went over this, which is an awesome one for me too. We were talking about fit. Fit is a huge thing for me. Cecilia was bringing it up for, you could still go ahead and wear your fuller suits, but have the fit that fits you right. So your shoulders want to be in line, and you want to, like Justin said, you want to make sure that it's comfortable, because when your fit is not comfortable, it's going to take you out of your experience. So you're going to be worrying about it, you know? So when you do find something that fits you off the rack, buy multiples. Because that doesn't happen too often for anybody, and you'll save some money. So, and then you don't have to worry about it, you get a whole bunch of them. How's that sound?
Yes.
Awesome, any questions?
You were talking about color, about warms and cools. Now, what about saturation? Because like I'm olive tone here, right? And for some colors, like really pastel colors, does not look good on me. But like there's warm and there's cool pastel colors. Now, would there be a specific occasion on when is the proper like saturation of color you should use, like beachy clothes or like casual versus business casual? Like when it comes to business casual specifically, where do we want to go with the colors, like in saturation?
Mm-hmm. So if I got your question correct, it's when would be the appropriate time to fluctuate with the pastel versus the bold?
Right.
That's simply
Right, because there's Like
a
a
wide
gradient,
range,
right.
right? So I would look at the season. So your pastel colors, you wanna bring more towards spring and summer, and your big, bold, more, sturdy colors, you wanna bring more towards the winter and the fall. So you really don't wanna wear like a baby pink, blouse during holiday time. You wanna do more of a magenta or a fuchsia. You want your power colors more, because think about the season. The season is more heavy. So the lighter colors wanna be in the more airy, light seasons, and then the darker colors wanna be in the fall and winter. Does that answer your question?
That was
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome, that's really
Yeah, I have a question. Can you, talk a little bit, sorry, thank you. Can you speak a little bit about undergarments and the effect of color, with particular outfits? Cause I know, like, I'm obviously African American, so it doesn't serve me well to wear like a nude color bra, under a shirt, under a particular shirt for the mere fact that it might show through. So can you talk about like colors as far as undergarments?
Sure, thank you, Cecilia, that's an awesome question. So the thing with the undergarments is you really want it to match your skin. So that's an awesome question because, that's what Tracy was saying too, depending on your skin, your neutral undergarment might be a chocolate or a black, versus where if you're very ivory skin and cool colors, it might be a white. And we do have to take notice to it because my daughter asked me today, that's so funny, she said, there be light. With white pants, you don't necessarily want to wear white undergarments. You may have to wear a darker tone. So really to match your skin tone is the best. And if you're using it, like Tracy was saying, for a camisole or for a pop of color, that's fine. You wouldn't really use your undergarments, but a camisole or something like that you can utilize for a pop of color where you can contrast from your skin. Okay, how does that sound? Awesome, thank you guys, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. Feels a lot better right now. Thank you all for sitting through the heat and the lights being out. I hope that was really valuable for you and well worth it. What we'd like to do now is offer for anyone who'd like to come up and get evaluated on their outfit. So, doesn't mean you're gonna come up and we're all gonna be like, you should do this, this, and that. We have a way of doing it where we're gonna tell you what works for us and what doesn't work for us. And again, this is just our evaluation. What story you make up about it is what you're choosing to make up about it. But this is extremely valuable because now you can see, although we all have blind spots. Someone out there might be like, I don't like the purple and pink together. And like, that'd be great for me to know because I can take that now into my evaluation and decide maybe next time I don't want to wear that or I'll wear it again. Anybody like to come up? All right, we already got one volunteer. Dawn, please come on up.
Okay, I've had the same look since '85, but that's not totally on so this is my look. I'm in black from head to toe, all the time, tailored, but the boots. I'm always in boots.
Okay, so how we're gonna do this then, I'm gonna ask Tracy to do the evaluation. All she's gonna say is what works for her and what doesn't work for her. And then anyone else who would like to chime in has the opportunity because you are open to feedback, correct?
No.
No. All right, thank you. Tracy?
Okay, Dawn, what works for me is I love the color, the black, definitely bold, subtle, professional look. What doesn't work for me are your boots. What else doesn't work for me is your hair is pinned back. It's a little sloppy around the edges there.
It's hot, I'm waving.
And that's it, I'm complete.
Thank you. Thank you, Tracy. Anyone else like to give any feedback? Cecilia?
What works for me is the dress. The dress, I think it can carry for multiple occasions. What doesn't work for me is the equestrian look of the jacket. I think if you unzipped it and wore it short and I think that would bring a fuller effect. And also what doesn't work for me is the hair. I think your hair would look gorgeous if it were down and out.
Awesome. Thank you, Cecilia. And if it's okay if you want to repeat something so she could really, get it. Like maybe you like what Cecilia said. So if anyone else would like to join in. situation?
What works for me is the boots. I'm a
Thanks.
boots girl. I love boots. I would say what doesn't work for me, if I have to say something, it would be probably just the hair change, just because, I mean, your outfit says so much because the coat and the boots, but then the hair is such a simple pull back. And maybe if you had like in a bun or something just to kind of complement the statement you're giving with the whole boots and the long coat thing.
Thank you, Melody. Thatcher.
What works for me, I like the monochrome, like minimalist look. I really enjoy that. I think wearing all black is a powerful thing. I like it. I'm a fan of it myself. Yeah, so that works. The only thing that doesn't work for me is, I didn't notice if she said it, but the jacket would look cool if it does separate at the zipper. Does it do that?
It does.
I think it would,
I
yeah.
feel like it's casual. I feel like it's
I
not
think
so
it would look
tailored.
good. I actually think
It's
so.
sort of, this is how the jacket is.
But does it zip on, zip all the way, or
This
is
is
it?
all it just sits right there. But even that is a totally different.
Oh, never mind, keep it zipped. What doesn't work for me, as has already been said, is, your hair being pulled back.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Thatcher.
What works for me is the colors, the fitting. I love the jacket. What doesn't work for me is that the jacket, the length, it's shorter than your dress. And what doesn't work also is the boots.
All right. Thank you. John, you got one more?
I actually have a
Kim?
question,
Oh,
if I
sure.
may. And this would be for Tracy, well, just because that's my sister and I know her story. Pardon me. When do you have, if I might,
Yes.
when you have to, she has a broken ankle and she, has issues wearing heels. So when you have a situation like that, I know you said some flats, but if you are fashion forward and you like to be trendy and edgy, what's your recommendation for shoes? If boots are not business professional, but flats are maybe according to some boring, or like what would be your recommendation for shoes in a situation where you couldn't put your ankle like this, but you want to be edgy? Does that make sense?
Yes, so Kim, I want to make sure I understand your question. If someone, a woman has, or a man has a problem with their ankle and they can't wear flats, will boots be appropriate?
If they can't wear a heel, what are some other options besides flats for business professional?
That's a great question. All right, let's get them in. So Kim, to answer your question, that would be definitely a question for one of the trainers to specify. And I make up that if there is a medical issue with someone's ankle, that a pair of boots would be applicable for that particular situation. But in any event, we've had people that have broken ankles or feet. We brought it to the trainer's attention, and it was a-okay for them to wear that boot or flat shoe or what may have you for that particular situation. Does that answer your question?
It does, Tracy.
Would you say, because there are, I've seen low cut boots that
They
still
look the
look
shoe.
dressy, and that they're not too much of a heel. And if they were to wear that when they're required to be a business professional, the short, there are such thing, right? That, without her having to tell them that she has an issue, would that go well? Like, would that apply? Shorter, low cut boots.
So Melody, I heard you say, your question is, can a young lady wear short-cut boots whether
Right.
they have a problem or not with their feet, right?
Right.
Okay, great question. And Melody, I would say, again, that's at discretion, depending on how the boot may look. If you're wearing a pantsuit and they cover the boot, and it's at the appropriate height and it's closed toe or even open toe, because it could appear as a pump if you have on a pair of pants and it's covering. So I would say that would be okay. Again, trainer's discretion there. If they feel that it's not business professional, then they would definitely bring it to your attention or a staff member. Does that answer your question, Melanie?
Yeah.
All right.
Would anyone else like, coming right up, please, I'm gonna stand with the back, so I can shirt of it. I like that I can see your shirt cuff coming out about a half an inch. It does look like one side, maybe, I don't know, yeah, maybe just fix your jacket a little, okay. That's great. It looks like you've got about a full break or a little bit more, so I like that, that works for me. The shoes work for me for business professional, they wouldn't work for me for sharp business professional. What are you trying to go for here?
Job interviews.
Job interviews, okay, so I might go for sharp business professional for any job interview, and I might just go with you know, a different type of shoe that's got more of a leather shine and maybe kind of a wood bottom. Okay, maybe a tie up as well could work too. Anybody else have any feedback for Lee?
Lee, what works for me is the suit, the tie, the hem, the sleeves, everything's working perfect. What doesn't work for me is the pencil and the fit. I love the sleeves are good. I feel like the shoulders and the jacket can be custom, a little fit.
I lost.
There you go, so yeah, it's time to bring it. Yeah, awesome, thank you.
Melody. What works for me is a tie. I like the material of the tie. And the colors too. What doesn't work for me is, I know you just said you lost all the weight. Maybe you can keep the jacket, just tailor at the waist just a little bit more to fit your body more. To embrace that, I lost weight, right? And maybe, yeah, just because considering the change, the shift in weight, probably maybe just a little bit tailor your jacket on the sleeves. Yeah, but other than that, it's great.
Awesome. I want to ask, we got one more? One more.
Can I just ask a question?
Oh, sure.
You said that that's for a job interview look for
Correct.
you? Is that, he's double-breasted, is that like
Double-breasted suits?
is that with the buttons on both sides? For a job interview?
Yeah, you can do that for a job
You can,
interview,
okay,
yeah,
I didn't-
absolutely.
yeah.
Double breast is actually making a huge comeback, but
Yeah.
Okay.
going to do double breast, you definitely want to make sure it's a fitting
Fitted.
coat.
Yeah.
And there's a distinction, because there's European cuts, there's British cuts, and then there's American cuts. American tailoring is gonna usually be boxier and bigger. Us Americans, for some reason, we like American, men around the world have been dressing like American men are starting to for years. And we're just really catching up. We've really been the almost like the laughing stock, if you will. But so it's important to remember, if you're getting an American cut, it's
No
cut
matter
American
how bad
tailoring is gonna get it to look like a European cut or a British cut. So yeah, it's important to remember.
Really good. Thank you, guys. Appreciate the participation.
One thing to say, real quick, and I don't think anybody caught it, and my question is does it matter, that these pants are not part of the suit? I have the pants, but they have dog hair on them. So you get a different set of pants.
So this is a great example of last minute, I was carrying coffee over here and I was like, wow, what would happen if I just dropped this coffee on my suit right before this? It's always good to have a backup. Now I don't think, did anybody notice?
No.
So,
Can you tell now that you know?
now I'm up close and see slightly. So, great move by you, the last minute adjustment. I would also obviously get a,
Well, all my
pen
suits
hair.
are blank, so yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
But yes, it's okay, no one notices, but I would say obviously try and wear it, especially if you're going to a job interview. You never know the eyesight that people are looking at, and they might look at that as sloppy in some way. I want to ask you before you sit down, how did it feel to be up here? Was anything coming up? I noticed when someone commented on your, you kind of coming up, like taking the pencil out.
I put the pencil in earlier, I don't know.
That's okay. Would you like to share about kind of what was coming up being up here and being evaluated?
No, I'm not, yeah, of course, if somebody says something, you want to adjust it, you want to fix it. As soon as I do, I want to fix it. But other than that, I really want the feedback because, I want to be more successful in the job interview, so I definitely welcome the feedback.
Great. Awesome.
One more question.
Sure.
The tie.
Yes.
So literally, I don't wear suits that often. My parents are gone. I don't have anybody that can hey, show me how to tie. I'm literally on YouTube tying the tie.
Great place to go though.
Right, absolutely. So I notice there's different types. Yours is bigger, this one's tight for some reason. This is smaller. So I know there's Windsor, half Windsor.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I I was gonna put that up there, but it's a lot to get. There's like 16 different ways you can tie a tie. There's some really fancy ways. I was gonna tell you, YouTube or any of those places, just look how to tie. I'd go with the simple knot. It's the easiest way to go around. The half Windsor and the Windsor look great. I notice you kind of have to find longer ties sometimes, or they don't really sit right. But certainly explore on YouTube, and see what works for you. And after a few times, you could get almost any knot. Cool. Thank you, Lee. So we are approaching 9 o'clock. So we want to wrap things up here. Kim, did you have a question?
I have the quickest tip,
Sure.
please, if you let me share. For ladies and gentlemen, when you buy a new suit, just make sure the big X that holds the seam, it comes out. Because a lot of people, it's the same color sometimes, so we leave it in. But that big X is called the basting stitch, and it's just for travel, so that when you have a pleat, it doesn't bend up, let's say, when it's traveling. So just look at your suit and make sure to pull those stitches out. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Don't throw away those collar stays.
Now, and also the stitching in the pocket, sometimes people don't realize it's actually a pocket.
And sometimes you could keep that, like I tend to keep mine so that throughout the time that they don't start to sag, but that's up to your preference as well.
That's a great point, because these were always sewn shut, and there was a few suits I was like, oh, I guess these don't have a pocket, I can't wear my pocket square, and then I realized you have to take a scissor, cut it open so that you can fit your pocket square in, so.
And then also for men, some men will actually keep the name brand tag or the.
Oh, on the label thing? Yeah, that's a no-no. I would not do that.
Yeah, I see people leaving and forget to cut that.
Yeah, thank you, Erwin. One more, and then we're gonna move on. Lee?
Dry cleaning, how
Yes.
often?
That's a great question. Lee wants to know how often to dry clean. I try and get away with, if I can, if there's, it wasn't a very heavy use, I wasn't sweating. Certainly, if there's a stain, do a full inspection. If there's a stain, get it dry cleaned right away, not just because you need to, you just gotta get that stain out. Otherwise, 1, 2, 3 might be pushing it, but it really also depends. Like if you're financially, just do it every time. The problem is when you do it too much, it can wear down the material. So there is a balance there, but to me, I buy a suit so I can look fresh every time, and so I'm gonna go and kind of do it a little more often. Awesome, thank you, Lee. So I want to wrap things up here. Thank you all again for spending your evening here with us. I hope you all got some valuable information. We went over the men's and women's dress codes. We gave you some great tips for fashion in your lives. Please share it with the community, share it with others. We also talked about some conversations around the stories we make up about fashion and dress and evaluation. So go back into your lives and think about the stories that you may be making up about different things and what kind of interpretations you can make that will serve you and perhaps those around you. We all got to experience being evaluated in some way, either at the beginning or if you came up here. Notice how that felt and how other areas of your life are being evaluated. And how your reaction is, and maybe that can help you break through something else in your life. I want to bring up Tracy to say a couple parting words.
All right, I want to thank everybody again for being here. Was that information helpful for you? Could you use this information and use it in your everyday lives? Could you use this information to support others, whether it's a male or female? Yes? So again, thank you all for coming out and also being accommodated with the lights being taken out. Mother Nature is having a conversation that we're doing. All right. So what we have, and Justin, just review what we all covered here. And in your folders, it would support us greatly if you can fill out the survey forms, offer us some feedback so that we can either add or take away from our presentation. So take a few minutes to fill those out, and on your way out, you can hand those survey forms to Cecilia at the registration table. Does anybody have any questions or anything that we can clear up for you right now at this moment? All right.
And before everyone goes out and starts to go, I just want to acknowledge our team for being absolutely tremendous. This was not possible if Mark, Kim, Cecilia, Thatcher was chipping in, and obviously my co-trainer Tracy. So we put a lot of work in to make this happen, and our team has just been incredible as support. So thank you all. Let's give a round of applause.